Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you all. As we begin today's program, I would like to remind you that this is the final day of your orientation program, and I hope that the whole orientation program has been a smooth start to your academic journey. Before we proceed, we have a few reminders for you to ensure the session runs smoothly. Please kindly keep your microphones muted throughout the session, and you may use the chat box to ask questions. And we encourage you to stay attentive and actively engaged as we wrap up our final sessions. Now, let us begin our first session for today. To begin, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Madhuranga Kalugampitiya, Head of the Department of English, to introduce the department and share valuable insights with our students. Dear sir, over to you.
Okay, good morning, all of you. Let me welcome all of you to the Faculty of Arts, University of Yerevan, on behalf of the Department of English. As you know, today we are going to have the introduction to the English program as the first item for the day. And that's what I'm going to do now. Let me share my presentation. Okay. I hope all of you can see my screen. So it's about the Department of English. The English program for the undergraduate degree is offered by the Department of English. And I'm speaking to you as the head of the department. I'm Madhuranga Kalugampitiya. And on the screen, you can see my email address. If you want to contact me related to anything, say anything related to the Department of English or the English program, you can drop me an email at this email address. So in our department, as part of the undergraduate program, we have two streams. Even though we call these streams, these are not separate streams. Actually, three streams. One is literary studies, language studies, and critical theory. So if you take courses in English, you will take courses under these categories, right? Literary studies, language studies, and critical theory. All the courses offered by the Department of English carry the prefix ENG. ENG stands for English. So if you come across a course code that has ENG as a prefix, that is an indication that that course is offered by the Department of English, right? So I have this text in both Sinhala and Tamil to make sure that we all understand the point very clearly. If what you're interested in is learning the English language. Now, when I say English language, what I'm talking about is the general English that you took as a subject for your A-levels, right? If that is the kind of English you are interested in learning, the Department of English is not the place for that. There is a different department. That department is called the Department of English Language Teaching. In this text, of course, it's referred to as ELTU, but it's ELTD now. So let me read out the single text here. Devana Bhashaවක් වශයෙන් ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාව ඉගැන්වීම ඉංග්‍රීසි දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ කාර්යභාරය නොවේ. ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාව ඉගැන්වීමේ කාර්ය ඉටු කරනු ලබන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂා ඉගැන්වූ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව විසින්. I understand that you all have already been introduced to the Department of English Language Teaching. All of you will take courses from that department, and that is the department that's handling general English courses, right? Reading skills, writing skills, listening skills, speaking skills, all these skills will be taken care of by that department. The role of the Department of English is different. I'm extremely sorry, I'm not in a position to read out the Tamil text because I don't speak Tamil, something that I'm absolutely ashamed of. But I hope my explanation is clear to all of you, right? So the English department offers a different set of courses. The courses that the Department of English is handling, is in charge of, are similar to English literature as a subject that is available at the A-levels, right? So it's not general English, it is English literature mainly. ELA, the prefix ELA, are the courses taught by the Department of English Language Teaching. So if there is a course that carries a course code that carries the prefix ELA, that is not the Department of English, right? It's the Department of English Language Teaching, or DELT. It's only the ENG courses that are offered by the department. Okay, who can offer English as a subject for the degree? Unlike many other subjects in the faculty, English as a subject is not available for all the students. We require that you have done English literature, not general English, but English literature as a subject for the advanced level. Those who have done English as a main subject, what is commonly called English literature, you need to have done it as a main subject, and subject code is 73 for GCE advanced level, and obtain a pass S or above is a requirement. And why do we have this requirement? Because at the university level, we expect the students to have a certain background in the subject, right? You may be perfect in your English, but if you don't have a background in the subject of English literature, it's going to be a little difficult for you to do well. And we don't want students to lose marks or go for a lower GPA because you don't have that necessary prior background. And that is why we have put in place this requirement, right? There's another route also. If you haven't done English for A-levels, but you're still interested in taking English as a subject for the degree, you could contact me and we we will first have an interview and then a selection test administered by the Department of English to see whether you will be able to cope with the workload and what is required at the degree level for English literature, right? So that window is open, but mainly you need to have done English as a main subject for advanced level. So, as I said before, my email address, the head of department email address is on the screen if you want to contact me regarding this. It's just a matter of shooting me an email. I will display my email address again towards the end of the program, of the session. Right. So, courses offered by the Department of English at the 1000 level. As you know, the 1000 level is the first year. In the degree program, we have two courses offered, two main courses offered by the Department of English, one for semester 1 and the other for semester 2. For semester 1, it's ENG 1001, right? And this is what I meant by the prefix ENG. It's called ENG because it's offered by the Department of English. The course title is The Canon Introduction to English Language and Literary Studies, right? And the second part of that course is offered in the second semester, and the code is ENG 1002. The title, The Counter Canon Introduction to English Language and Literary Studies. The first semester one is the canon, and the second semester one is the counter canon, right? In addition to these two, the Department of English is also handling one of the essential skills courses in the first year, which is ESS 1002, Communication Skills. And we are in charge of the English medium course. This is a course that is available in all three languages, Tamil, Sinhala, and English. And the English medium course is handled by the Department of English. So if you are doing either English as a subject for the degree or the degree in the English medium, you will take the ESS 1002 English medium course, and we will see you, we will meet you for that course, right? But ENG 1001 can be offered only by those who have done English as a main subject for the degree and obtain at least an S pass, or those who have requested an interview and a placement test, selection test, and passed that course can also join that course, right? Okay. I'm sure you already know about the requirement for the honors degree, and the honors degree is also called a special degree. And the honors degree is something that you will start in the second year of your program, unless you decide to go for a general degree. In the case of an honors degree, what you do is you select one of the three main subjects that you have done for the A level, for your first year, 1000 level, and then do an honors degree, a special degree in that subject. If you're interested in pursuing an honors degree in English, we have the same requirement as the faculty for any honors degree. The eligibility criterion is you get an average B for the two first year courses. And what are the two first year courses for English? ENG 1001 and ENG 1002, right? For both these courses, the average grade should be a B or above to be selected for the honors degree in English, right? So let's say in the first year you get an A, and the second semester also you get an A. The average is going to be A, so no issues. say the first semester is B plus and the second semester is B, when you put the two grades together, the average is going to be above B. So once again, no issue. Say the first semester is B minus and the second semester is B plus. Once again, the average will be B, no issue. But if the average goes below B, is when we have a problem, right? Because the faculty has this requirement that anyone who's specializing in a subject needs to have an average B for that subject. Right. The members of the Department of English, we have Dr. Kanchuka Dharmasiri, who is a senior lecturer in English. In addition to teaching in the English programs, she's also heavily into the field of drama and theatre. So if you are dramatically inclined, Dr. Kanchuka Dharmasiri is certainly someone whom you would like to work with in various productions during your stewardship at Peradeni, right? We also have Ms. Tara Senanayake, who's a lecturer in the Department of English. She's currently in the United Kingdom pursuing her PhD degree, and she's expected to complete her studies and join us very soon. So hopefully, before your first year comes to an end, Ms. Tara Senanayake will be back. We also have two probationary staff members, Ms. Nishani Jayavira and Ms. Sachini Marasinghe. And they are also teaching in a number of courses offered by the Department of English. Ms. Sachini Marasinghe is also part of the first year English courses. So in the first year itself, you will get a chance to work with her. Okay? We also currently have 3 temporary lecturers in the department. I'm sorry, I've got the name wrong for the first member. She is Miss Rochana Jayasinghe. Miss Rochana Jayasinghe. And then Miss Kavishi Gunawardana, Miss Anne Silva. They're also part of our teaching team. Now, when you take the first year communication skill, English medium communication skills, English medium course, you will get a chance to work closely with Ms. Kavishi Gunawardana and Ms. Anne Silva, because they are involved in that course. The fields which English graduates from Peradeni have excelled in include university teaching, foreign service, Sri Lanka administrative service, English language teaching, creative writing, advertising. These are just, this is not an exhaustive list. There are many other fields where English graduates have done very well upon the completion of a degree in English, honors degree in English. Many of our students have gone into university teaching, both in Sri Lanka and abroad. We have a very strong record of our students going into university teaching, and also foreign service and the administrative service. When you say English language teaching, it's both at the university level and school level. If you're interested in that way, in teaching the English language, a degree in English will be very helpful too. We have produced many creative writers, award-winning creative writers, both national and international awards, and advertising is also one of our strong areas. Some distinguished alumni of the Department of English. I'm sure you have at least heard the name Ashley Halpe. He was a former professor attached to the Department of English, and he was a teacher for many of us. And also Professor Tirukandaya, who also retired some time back, but who continued to be part of the Department of English community for a long time. Now he's based in Australia. And also Professor Yasmin Gunaratne, who started the teaching journey at Peradeniya and then moved to Australia, where she where she continued to be a professor in English and also a creative writer, famous creative writer. And Mr. Gamini Hattotwegama, who was famous for drama and theatre and also street theatre in particular, is a product of the Department of English, right? And they are members of the old, like the initial batches of the Department of English. We also have Miss Chandani Lokuge, who's once again a famous creative writer. She was a product of the Department of English. And I'm sure at least some of you have heard about Gananath Obesekara, Professor Gananath Obesekara, and also Ranjini Obesekara, both of whom were professors in the United States. Professor Gananath Obesekara was the professor of anthropology at the University of Princeton, which is one of the leading universities in the entire world. And he was a professor in anthropology. And Professor Ranjini Obesekara was also in the field of translation studies and anthropology. Very interestingly, both of these individuals started their journey at the Department of English. They had their first degree in English, if I'm not mistaken, in the 1950s and early 60s, right? So we are very proud of Professor Gananath Obesekara and Professor Ranjini Obesekara. And they are assigned that if you, with a degree, an honors degree in English, you don't have to stay within English for the rest of your life. There are so many avenues that you can pursue. And Professor Gananath Obesekara and Professor Ranjini Obesekara are a perfect example for that. And we also have the late Professor Khadri Ismail, who is also a well-known professor in the United States. Unfortunately, we lost him some time back during COVID times, but he had a reputation for being a very strong scholar in the field of English studies. And he too started his journey at the Department of English, University of Peradeniya. And also, Dr. Jayantha Dhanapala, you may have heard about him. He was attached to the United Nations some time back. And he almost became the General Secretary of the United Nations. He contested for the post along with 4 others coming from 4 different countries. And he was short of some votes to become the General Secretary. And very interestingly, he was also a product of the Department of English. He has an honors degree in English and he has gone into foreign service, international relations, that field, and that was how he finished his journey. And we also have 2 other leading administrators, Ms. Nihal Rodrigo and YK Rohanaje, who were leading administrators in foreign service and administrative service. They also graduated from the Department of English, right? So once again, the reminder is, with an honors degree in English, you don't have to stay within the confines of English studies. There are so many avenues, other avenues that you can pursue as well. From more recent times, Professor Harshana Ramukvella, the late Professor Harshana Ramukvella, was the director of the Postgraduate Institute of English at the Open University. He was the director for a very long time. And then he, after ending his term as director, he moved to Abu Dhabi, where he worked as a professor in English for New York University, the Abu Dhabi branch. Unfortunately, we lost him about 1.5 years ago. Right. And Professor Dushanti Mendis, a professor in English in the Colombo, attached to the Colombo University, is also from the Department of English. Dr. Indu Madde graduated from Peradeniya in the early 2000s, and now she's working as a professor in England. Dr. Mahendran Thiruvarangal, a recent graduate of the University of Peradeniya, is now with the Department of English at the University of Jaffna. He also obtained his PhD from the United States. And Dr. Mihailo Pereira is also, he's part of Jawaharlal University English Department. And he's also well known for his creative writing. He's an award-winning creative writer. And he too graduated from the University of Pereira. And these are just a few among many notable graduates of the department. And as I said before, our students have been very successful in obtaining postgraduate opportunities at leading universities across the world, mainly in the Western world. Some of the universities where our students are currently pursuing their postgraduate degrees are on the screen. Washington State University, USA, University of Bristol, UMass, University of Massachusetts, USA, Michigan State University, USA, University of Hawaii, USA, Stanford University, USA, Columbia University, USA, University of London, UNB, New Brunswick, Canada, Ohio University. I did my postgraduate degree at Ohio. Australian State University, University of Pittsburgh, once again USA, Miami University, USA, Monash University, Australia, Miami, and the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, right? We have a very strong record of our students being admitted to these universities for their postgraduate studies. And our students have been very successful in obtaining full funding. We never had to spend a cent of our own money to obtain our master's degrees and PhDs, because on the basis of the qualification that we had gained at Peradeniya for the honors degree in English, we were able to find postgraduate opportunities with funding at these leading universities in the world, right? So this once again proves that if you do an honors degree in English and do well, which you can do, the sky is the limit. There are so many opportunities that you can get into. A special note about Miss Rochana Jayasinghe and also Miss Sachini Marasinghe. As I said before, Miss Sachini Marasinghe is a probationary lecturer at the Department of English, and Miss Rochana Jayasinghe is a temporary lecturer. Both of them obtained their master's degrees recently from the University of Oxford in England. And for them also, they didn't have to pay any money for their studies. They were offered scholarships. And how did they get their scholarships? On the basis of what they had done at Peradeniya as part of the English honors degree, right? So, living proof that there are so many opportunities that you can pursue with a degree in an honors degree in English. And also, same Ms. Rochana Jayasinghe, you may have heard about this. Based on her research at the University of Oxford, she was hired by the Oxford English Dictionary as a consultant. And based on her research, recently, 10 words of Sri Lankan origin were added to the Oxford English Dictionary. And that addition was entirely based on Ms. Rochana Jayasinghe's research, which she had conducted at the University of Oxford. And we're lucky to have Ms. Jayasinghe as a member of our staff. And if you come to when you come to Peradeniya, and if you decide to do English as a subject, you will get the chance to work with Ms. Jayasinghe. Ms. Jayasinghe is, of course, currently in the process of applying for her PhD studies. But while she's here, you will get a chance to work with her, right? Employment, I'm happy to say the Department of English is one department where we have not had employment issues according to our records, we have 100% record of employment, which means our graduates have been able to find employment opportunities without trouble. As I said before, many of our students, upon completion of their degree, they apply abroad for postgraduate degrees, and many of them leave. But those who decide to go into the field of into employment, they have had a lot of success in finding good opportunities. And the Department of English, there are two student societies. One is directly under the Department of English, which is ELA, which stands for English Literary Association. If you remember what I said before, the prefix ELA as a course code is not part of the Department of English. It is part of the English Language Teaching Department. But this ELA is part of the department, which is the Student Association of the department. And we also have the Ceylon University Dramatic Society, which is under a senior treasurer from the Department of English. Dr. Kanchuka Dharmasiri happens to be the senior treasurer of that student association. So if you are literally inclined and dramatically inclined, these are student societies which you would want to consider joining, because there will be a lot of opportunities for you to pursue your interests. We also have a Facebook page for the Department of English, University of Peradeniya. If you're interested in keeping learning more about the Department of English, you can go follow this page. There will be updates posted by the department on this site. As final slide, let me share with you the contact information. We are located at Main Arts 25. The Main Arts building, room 25 is where we are, the Department of English. Telephone number 081-239-2543. And my email address as HOD is hod.arts.pdn.ac.lk. If you have any inquiries about the English program or the department, anything related to the department, you're welcome to contact us at either this phone number or at this email address, or you could stop by the department. You're welcome to stop by and have a chat with us. With that, let me end my presentation. And once again, let me welcome all of you to Peradeniya on behalf of the Department of English. And I sincerely hope that you have a productive first year at Peradeniya. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that insightful and detailed introductory session.